So I am here today to give my thoughts on the latest episode of One Piece, the quote-unquote SABO versus FUJITORA episode, even though it was more like SABO versus the Marines, because SABO and FUJITORA don't even clash until the very end of the episode. So that title, pretty much, it kind of led you astray, like, because you were thinking that SABO FUJITORA were gonna have, like, you know, genuine one-on-one combat. No. It's SABO punking the Marines, including Vice Admiral Bastille, I think his name is, and then SABO pretty much powering up, having a few flashbacks about him, Ace, and Luffy, Kyodai, Saki Cups, when he actually heard the news of Ace's death, and how that affected him. And that was pretty interesting, to see that SABO, when he heard Ace's death, when he heard that Ace had died in the Marineford War, I mean, he bawled, he was like going completely crazy on the ground, and his boys around him like, SABO, like, what's wrong? Like, what's happening? So he never wants to experience that feeling again, because his brother died and he wasn't there and he couldn't help his brother out. So whenever Luffy needs help, whenever Luffy has a Denenmushi, yo, SABO, I need your help, SABO's on the way. That's just the way things are. Now, first of all, before I get to the end of the fighting, if you notice, and I thought it was actually really funny, when Cavendish has his moment in the episode, the OST that they played in the background was the same OST that they used for the One Piece Strong World film, where it was Shiki and his two other like cohorts. They were dancing in front of like Nami, I think it was. So like that was a really funny scene right there, because that music, I'm like, oh, that's that Shiki thing when he was going, yeah, when he was pulling out the moves like he was Michael. So like that was pretty good. Now, the fight itself. First of all, well, no fight. SABO, he was very impressive, alright? I mean, he's rocking the Mirror Manor, and he just got the powers, so he's like Kaku in a way, where he's exploring, he's experimenting his own powers to see what he can and cannot do. And when you have SABO take the attacks of the Marines, that was pretty cool, because they can't touch him, and they're all burning on fire when they try to touch him. And then in comes, and then one guy, you know, try to, you know, fire a cannon. Well, no, they all fire cannons, but one guy in particular thought that he could actually bash SABO with the cannon. And SABO's like, no, I got these claws. And then just squeeze. And the cannon pretty much, like, explodes in his face. So that was pretty cool. In comes Bastille. And this, to me, was surprisingly impressive. Because that, I don't know, it's called the Shark Cleaver, I think it's called. When he swung that sword, literally, like, a section of the city was just cut in half. I was like, was that in the manga? I don't recall that in the manga. In the manga, I just recall SABO just punking. But in the actual episode, they had Vice Admiral Bastille pretty much just mow down all these buildings with one swing. And SABO dodges. And that kind of threw me off, because I thought Bastille had hockey. So when he cut SABO, I'm thinking, well, SABO's maybe a little bit hurt. No. Apparently, it didn't affect him at all. Either way, and SABO brings out the Dragon Claws in full. He breaks that sword, and then he just starts crushing his head. And when he was crushing Bastille's head, if you notice, SABO, he had like the serious One Piece eye, and he was laughing like he was vicious. I was like, whoa. What the fuck, man? Like, SABO was really vicious when he was crushing Bastille's skull. He was laughing like, and I'm like, bring down. Whoa, subs, calm down. And comes FUJITORA. Meteorite. Can't birdcage. Cuts in half or cuts in pieces, and the entire, like, area is affected by the meteorite, obviously. So, in comes SABO. He was able to pretty much be unaffected by the meteorite. And then it's a clash between those two. And then they're talking about how they're brothers and how FUJITORA, you know, like, I have no Saki Cups to return, like some shit like that. And pretty much it's that clash. FUJITORA has the sword out, a little bit of gravity, SABO powers up with the fire, and then so on and so forth. So, the anime clash is pretty cool, but overall, the animation could have been better. Like, there were a few scenes here and there that I thought were actually pretty good. Like, for example, SABO actually using, like, the Fire Fist was okay animation. SABO actually, like, the Dragon Claws, I think, could have been animated better, but they were still cool in themselves, because they're fucking Dragon Claws. Like Spock on massive steroids. And finally, that final clash with where SABO, he jumps into the actual sky, he comes down as if like he was a meteorite. And then with the pipe, boom, and then FUJITORA, and they clash. And even the buildings in the area, like, break down because of the shockwave. So, that was fascinating. And overall, the animation could have been better, as always. As always. And the pacing could have been shorter, as always. But it was cool nonetheless. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't like, for example, that clash between FUJITORA, Law, and Flamingo. FUJITORA, Meteorite. That was an amazing scene overall. And I wouldn't put this particular fight on that same level of animation, but it was still cool because we're seeing SABO go in against, like, an admiral, a vice admiral, and then other marines, like captains and commanders and whatnot. And that was fairly impressive on SABO's part, showing you that he's number 2 for a reason. Even without the Mirror powers, he's devastating. He has the Dragon Claws. He has the Ryu Soken. That thing is deadly. Dragon Breath. If he Dragon Breath the area, oh shit. So, but at the same time, FUJITORA's an admiral. So, in the future, we're going to probably see how well SABO can gauge, like, from a combat standpoint, like, where SABO would lie as the number 2 position of the Revolutionary Army. Can he actually tango with admirals? Can he actually beat admirals? So I have to wait and see about that one. So that's it, I'm done. So King Lightning, give me your thoughts. Overall, it was cool, okay overall, and that's it. So have a nice damn day. And of course, rate the video, comment, subscribe.